We have some major updates surrounding the Boston Red Sox and what free agency has really looked like for the last few days in their attempt to acquire another right-handed bat for this lineup. I'm here to break down all of the moving parts on this episode of Red Sox Digest, but first remember, if you're a part of the 86.5% currently watching this video, not currently subscribed, and you want to stay up to date on everything Red Sox, scroll down and subscribe to the channel. We do appreciate all the love and support. Help us get to our new goal of 2,000 subscribers. Thank you guys again, but now let's get to it and break down how we are simply running out of options out here in Boston. Now, you've heard me as well as Evan come onto this channel video after video breaking down all of the new updates and all of the new information that we have surrounding the Red Sox and really how this offseason has really gone up to this point. And again, there have been big name after big name after big name being thrown out in speculation surrounding the Boston Red Sox and possibly the Red Sox going out to make a big splash in acquiring someone like a Max Fried, someone like a Juan Soto, a Garrett Crochet. The list goes on. And obviously, we haven't been the most active in the sense of actually signing those big names, but now we are sitting at a point where we have went into this offseason looking for two things in particular, and we know what they are. They right-handed bat to balance out this lineup as well as pitching, whether it be of the starting variety or coming out of the bullpen as relieving arms or even closing arms. We desperately needed those two things, and obviously we went out and we acquired some pitching. We got Crochet, we got Chapman, Slate, and a few other relieving arms, especially of the left-handed variety, as well as Walker Buehler, who could end up being the biggest signing and the sneakiest signing of the entirety of the offseason, involving the entirety of the MLB. But again, we will wait and see how that plays out later down the line. We are specifically going to talk about the right-handed bat situation for this Boston Red Sox team, as now, again, we are running out of options. We brought up Teoscar Hernandez, Anthony Santander, again, multiple people, and we have not gone out and made that big splash and really added any bat to this lineup. So we're going to quickly cite John Heyman, who did post this article breaking down the top MLB free agents still unsigned and where they could fit. Again, that is from today, December 26th. And he goes on to bring up Anthony Santander, which we'll highlight in just a second. But first, Teoscar Hernandez. Now, we brought up Teoscar a bunch on this channel in the past, over the last week, if not the last month or so, when really the offseason and free agency has really popped off and really taken the world in the MLB world by storm. Heyman goes on to say, he flat out told me, quote, 1,000%, end of quote, he wanted to return to the Dodgers, and who wouldn't? But the Red Sox and his old Jays and possibly the old Mariners are apparently giving him something to think about. A great bat and terrific clubhouse guy who should capitalize on his huge year in LA. Obviously, we broke down the stats in previous videos. Teoscar Hernandez, it was last year and has been for the majority of his career a damn good baseball player. Obviously, in the field, he's not Ken Griffey Jr., but again, he is a respectable, just above average fielder. And again, when you bring him to the plate, especially last season, as well as a few seasons in the past of his career, earlier in his career, I should say, he was damn good, and he's a damn respectable bat at that, and he's very reliable. He got paid, as we expected him to get anywhere between that $22 to $24 million. It seems like he's getting just north of that at just in the middle of that at $23 million, or excuse me, 22 exactly, $22 million. Outfielder Teoscar Hernandez and the Los Angeles Dodgers are in agreement on a 3-year, $66 million deal. Sources tell ESPN the deal includes a 4th-year option for $15 million, a little more than $23 million in deferred money, and a $23 million signing bonus. And again, this was reported by none other than Jeff Passan today, December 27th. That was yesterday now, as it's 12:15 a.m. Yesterday, December 27th. So Teoscar returns to LA. LA has now really entirely rounded out their team. If they add another respectable player on their team this offseason, I don't know what I'm going to do, because the Red Sox need to stop watching and start doing. Their teams need to start witnessing and watching the Red Sox making these moves. Teoscar Hernandez was a phenomenal option for this Red Sox team, who so desperately needs a right-handed bat anywhere in this lineup, at the top, the middle, the bottom, regardless of where you would have put Teoscar Hernandez or what we're about to discuss in Anthony Santander in this lineup, would just be to balance it. Add another right-handed bat in Santander's case. Obviously, he is a switch hitter, which is obviously very versatile and a huge piece if you can acquire someone like Santander. But again, Teoscar Hernandez seemed like the best right-handed bat available in free agency for the Boston Red Sox up to this point. And now, once again, another player comes off the board and they do not land with Boston. So again, back to the idea that we are running out of options in Boston. Jon Heyman proceeds in that article to write about Anthony Santander, the switch-hitting, power-hitting outfielder. Now, he had a phenomenal year last year, and because of that, it seems like he's going to get paid roughly about what Teoscar got, just north of that. And again, Heyman goes on to say this: power hitters, even good ones like Santander, are one constituency not getting their due yet. Understandably, he's been looking to crack $100 million. The Jays are nearly everyone's best guess, followed by Boston. So now he's going to get more, it seems like, than Teoscar Hernandez, but that's what you get for waiting and not going out and offering Teoscar Hernandez the money he was publicly, and everyone kind of had a good idea of what he was looking for, and it seemed pretty damn reasonable. When I recorded a video, it was about a week ago, if not longer, breaking down the Teoscar Hernandez situation, and we had the idea and we had the graphic that he was looking for anywhere between $22 and $24 million a year for a 3-year deal. The question was why the hell we have not gone out and paid someone like Teoscar Hernandez that money. We offered Juan Soto $700+ million. That is one player. That is one player who is going to play one position and get one spot in the lineup to have 3 to 4, possibly 5 at-bats in one game, okay? And that's on the high end if he's the 1 or the 2 in the lineup. And again, obviously Juan Soto probably would be because he's Juan Soto in any lineup. But again, the idea is the same. If you're going to commit all that money to one piece, and obviously we did not end up getting and acquiring Juan Soto. He ended up with the New York Mets for that $805 million contract, which still I cannot wrap my head around. But the idea is the same. If you are going to offer him all of that money, you don't get him. That money obviously is now still in your pocket and available to spend, just like you assumed you were going to spend earlier on one asset, on one player this season. Go out and spend some of this money to create a monstrous, a powerful, and complete team. And if you were to go out and get someone in Teoscar Hernandez or someone in Anthony Santander, it would do just that. Obviously, Santander is not only a right-handed but a left-handed bat, hitting at the switch position, or hitting switch at the plate. If you look at his numbers, obviously not the greatest fielder, not very fast at all. He does not run the bases all that well. He's not going to steal a lot of bags for you, but again, he's coming off of, if not the best, one of the best hitting power years for a switch hitter in a long time. If you look at the fielding, obviously a below average fielder because that speed is subpar. The range is not great, but he makes up with it with the arm talent. And then if you look at the plate, he is a far above average hitter at the plate. And the offensive run value, the batting run value is extremely high, above league average, which is what we want to see. He'd be right-handed, again, as well as a left-handed bat that could help balance this lineup for the Boston Red Sox and really add a bit of versatility. Obviously, he's not going to give you a lot of versatility on where he can play in the outfield. You'd probably put him in left or in right field and really just hope you don't get put in a bad situation, as well as flexing him to DH in certain occasions when these games get really into the thick of the season and games really start to add up. If you look at other things, barrel percentage is up there. Expected batting average is up there above league average. This is what we want to see, or expected slugging, excuse me, I'm looking at the wrong bar. It's, again, this is what we need to see, as well as the whiff rate on the higher side of things. The things that he does well, he looks very good when he does them. The bottom row, the one highlighted in yellow, was this past year, his age 29 season with the Baltimore Orioles. And again, by far and away the best year of his career. He had a 2.9 WAR, which is not his career best, but if you look at some of the other numbers, 140 hits, and if you look down, 44 home runs, 102 RBIs. He only, again, we mentioned the bad base running, only 2 stolen bases. Was not caught once, though, in those 2 attempts, which is pretty damn good. But again, the 44 home runs and the 102 RBIs is really what is going to stand out. He's not going to hit 300. He batted about 235 last season, which again, just just under league average. But again, he can get the job done. He adds a bit of pop to this lineup. Again, we need the pop. We only had a few guys we had no one hit above 40. I believe we had one guy hit 30 plus. Yeah, we had one guy 30 plus, 2 guys 20 plus on the home run side of things last season for this Red Sox team. We need to add a bit of pop. We need to add a right-handed bat. Santander adds the versatility of not only being just a right-handed bat as well as a left-handed bat, but also adds really the production. Last year was obviously an outlier. He was in the running. He was an all-star in the running for the MVP. Not in the top 10, but obviously he was there and he was considered for it, as, again, the offensive production was elite as he was on a good ball club in Baltimore. Again, if you can throw him in this lineup with a bunch of good pieces that we have in Casas, Devers, Duran, Weiler, Brayu, Rafaela, he could really excel. We could see another 100-plus RBI season with anywhere between 30 to 40-plus home runs once again, and it could really result in this Boston Red Sox taking another massive step, not only in the division, but as well as in the entirety of the MLB, really making themselves more dominant and something to be reckoned with. And honestly, I can't wait to see how this plays out. But again, we need the Red Sox to pick it up. Go out and make the splash. I know you guys in the comments aren't going to make it this far in the video, and you're going to tell me I'm crazy for hoping they're going to do this, because, again, it's hard to have faith in someone doing something that they fail to do over and over again. But again, let's hope and really pray that they go out and they make these moves and make this Boston Red Sox team a whole lot better. But thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys on the next episode of Red Sox Digest.